What's up YouTube? Merry Chrysler. It's McLean here with the Off-Road Rhino, coming at you with another video. We're gonna hit you with our build walk around this time so that you can see everything we've done to our 2009 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Unlimited. To kick off this video, we put out a poll on our Instagram just seeing if anyone had some questions that they wanted us to answer, and we're gonna start by answering those today. Jessica V. Nelson on Instagram asked, how did you get into Jeeps? So it goes way back into our childhood, right? We both grew up here in Utah. We're part of families that had ATVs and we'd take those off-road all the time. So we both grew up with that background of kind of being off-road and playing around with vehicles like that. And then we've been married for 2 years. So in the beginning of our marriage, Gabby was cruising around on Twitter one day and she saw this really beautiful picture of a Jeep with a rooftop tent on top, and that lifestyle just looked so cool to both of us, and we knew right then we had to get a Jeep. We were kind of comparing the different financial options, how to get into the Jeep world, and we started looking around at the used Jeep market in Utah, kind of with plans to buy one maybe in a 6-month time frame or so. This Jeep actually popped up within about a week of our search, and we just knew it was the right Jeep for us, so we went out and bought it. That was the start of our Jeep journey together. So question number 2 comes from your boy Troy. Your boy Troy asks, how's the hardtop holding up running your tent on those racks? Those of you may not know, in the past we have put our rooftop tent up on some Thule bars that go in the rain gutters of the hardtop. Our Thule bars would probably be around right here and right here, holding up the rooftop tent. People in the past have had concerns about the stability of these fiberglass bars and their ability to hold up a 100-pound tent, and then 2 people sleeping in the tent and whatnot. So just to give everybody an update, we have actually officially taken our last trip with our tent mounted on the Thule bars. We've received a sponsorship from Ace Engineering for a roof rack that's actually going to go further back, and we'll be mounting the tent on that roof rack from now on. But to update you all on how our rain gutters have held up through this whole process, let me just show you. So here is an up close look at our rain gutter on the passenger side freedom panel. I cannot tell any signs of wear at this point, all the way up to where we mount the Thule bars for the roof rack. So essentially, after a year of putting our rooftop tent on top of those Thule bars, our rain gutters are just as sturdy as they were when we bought the Jeep and haven't shown any signs of wear since then. All right, question number 3 comes from JEANNP.M. Jeep M. I hope I'm saying that right, Jeep. This is a 2-part question. The first part, how long did it take for you to achieve your ideal rig? We've had our Jeep since March of 2017. It's been about a year and a half now. And I really wouldn't say that we've achieved our ideal rig yet, but I think we've got our Jeep to a point right now where we're very comfortable with it. Most of the big mods we've put on there, and the rest of the things we want are mostly smaller things until we get to the really big dreams. So we'll go into detail in the rig walk around about what exactly we've done so far, but I would say it took us about a year for us to get to this point, and the last 6 months have been a lot more mellow in terms of mods. To achieve our ideal rig, I would give it probably a 5-year time frame. Some of the things that we want to do to the Jeep include putting in bigger axles, bigger tires. We've already got 37s, but who doesn't want 42s or bigger? And obviously to power all that, our 3.8 engine's not going to cut it anymore. We're looking at hopefully doing an LS swap sometime in the future. All of those things cost a lot of money. That's why, you know, the ideal Jeep is probably in like a 5-year time frame, but we've got it in a very comfortable place where we're not really in any hurry to make big changes like that. So we're comfortable with how it is, and that took us about a year to get to that point. Part 2 of your question, Jeep.M. Did you put away any money to save? You know what, Jeep, I wish we did. Well, we didn't really have any money specifically saved for the Jeep. We had a little bit in savings that we were able to put down to buy it, and we ended up getting it at a great price because it was a 2009 with about 100,000 miles on it, but still in great shape and with some good mods that saved us a little bit of money up front because we were just able to wheel it right away with the mods that it had on it. Since then, we've made it a really big financial goal of ours to get the Jeep paid off quickly, and we're actually on pace to have it paid off completely by February of 2019. So that's it for questions. Thank you guys for submitting those. Next video we make, we'll start to make this a tradition of answering your questions. So we'll put out more polls on Instagram as we're making videos. So please go check us us out on Instagram as well so that you can submit to have some questions to be answered. Also, if you have any questions, just leave a comment on the video and we'll answer those in our next video for you guys. But one thing I just wanted to point out, we just got our Jeep detailed by a good friend, and one of the benefits to getting your Jeep detailed is the protective coating that goes on the outside in preparation for winter. It actually makes it so we don't have to really wash it as much. We drove through some wet road on the way here and I got some mud kind of all over our fender, and we're able to just clean that up real quick actually by just wiping it right up. No big deal. Alright you guys, so to start with the rig walk around, first things first, up front we're running a TJM bumper. I don't know exactly what model this is because this was on the Jeep already when we bought it last March. I will say, however, that this is one of the things that actually drew us to this Jeep. It just looks so much cooler with the aftermarket bumper. I really like that the bull bar right here is actually more on a parallel plane with the Jeep rather than sticking out like a big stinger. I like the placement of it. It's got a spot for a winch, which will come in the future. It's got this front license plate holder. On the front bumper, we've got spots for some shackles from Gear America brand. Another thing I like about this bumper is it has these LED light inserts. Those were already wired up to a switch inside when we bought the Jeep as well. There's these two lights up here at the front, and it also has an LED light on either side that shines on the tire as some kind of rock light, which is pretty cool. Next up is our headlights. We get asked all the time where we got these, and these are just some cheap Amazon headlights actually. There's nothing really special about them. We just wanted some black headlights with some halos that would fit more of our silver and black theme, and the stock Jeep headlights are pretty dim anyway. These are LEDs and they're very bright, so we've wired up the halo to turn on and off with our fog light switch on the inside of the Jeep. Next thing, to kind of fit in with our black theme, we also got some black turn signal indicators that are also LED. These black grill inserts are from Amazon as well, and then we did plasti dip the Jeep emblem to fit in with the color scheme. So down underneath the front end of the Jeep here, as you can see, we've got the Falcon 2.1 steering stabilizer, and that is clamped onto the heavy duty Teraflex tie rod, and it's also going into our Metalcloak heavy duty track bar. And all of that is behind right here, our relocated Teraflex heavy duty drag link. We ended up having to redo a lot of our steering components as necessities once we started running 37s. A couple of our friends took us on some real bumpy trails, and we ended up with bent tie rods, bent drag links, really shaky steering, and a bunch of worn out components. So over time, out of necessity, we ended up with our heavy duty tie rod and our heavy duty drag link to support the kind of wheeling that we like to do. Also up in this area, you can see our Metalcloak 3.5-inch dual rate coil springs. We've got a Teraflex speed bump in there, and then down here you can also see all of this gold. We've got the Metalcloak sway bar links and all of our Metalcloak adjustable control arms back in there. Last thing going on in this fender well, you can see, is our Falcon 3.2 shock. This shock comes with the adjustable modular cartridge. This modular cartridge is very easy to turn with the tool that they give you, so it's no problem. So all that space is being filled up by our 37-inch Nitto trail grapplers. Those are on 17-inch Moto metal wheels, and we've also got the Ace Engineering inner fender that's specifically made for the Falcon shock. So that brings us to the side here. We got these fender flares, which I'm sure you've all seen the video by now of how we got these and painted them. We're still running the Aries fender flares, still highly recommend them. It's been close to a year now since we made that fender flare video, and we're still very happy with these. The paint that I did on them has held up pretty well. We've got a few chips here or there, but otherwise they look pretty good. They've held up perfectly for our four-wheeling needs. We decided to ditch the JK super long floppy antenna and just get a smaller antenna. I will say with this, we really don't listen to the radio that often, but when we do, occasionally the reception is pretty bad and pretty spotty because of how short the antenna is. Alright, the last thing we got going on up at the front is our light bar. We didn't go with anything fancy here, but it's held up just fine so far. Perfect for our needs. Helps us see when we're wheeling in the dark. We really like this light bar setup. So this rock slider was on the Jeep when we bought it. We haven't really felt the need to buy any new rock sliders at this point, though we might in the future. It's rusted up a little bit in the spots that we've hit it around, and from what I can tell, these are Smittybilt rock sliders, so we'll probably get some new ones someday, but for now, I really like the step. element of it, as well as the side protection on the Jeep. So at this point we don't feel the need to get anything new, but I also don't really have a problem banging them up either. As we get back here, this is one of our mods that's very noticeable. We're running these Rotopax on the side of our Jeep using the TrailRax system. The first introduction I had to Rotopax was watching a different rig walk around video, and they had the Rebel off-road kit, which takes out this rear window and replaces it with a Rotopax mount. And I thought that was pretty cool, but this I like even more because number one, I can fit a 4-gallon long Rotopax on here, and with the extended mount I could actually fit a second one, so we could do 8 gallons on each side. But number two, it's also completely removable, and that's my favorite part about it. These mounts bolt up into some blocks that you do drill into your hardtop, and those blocks stay there all the time, but they're only about that big and they're completely unnoticeable from the ground. So if we ever did want to take this off, we could take it off, put it back on. It's very easy to do. So I really like the temporary aspect of this rack mounting system. We got these D-rings from Gear America brand, and one of the things that I really like about them so far, number one, they're super sturdy. They're black, they blend in with the look of our bumper. But number two, what I really like that I haven't seen on some other brands of D-rings that we've got in the past is they came with these rubber washers. I'm gonna put them in between the loop on the bumper and the actual D-ring to keep it from rattling from side to side. So it looks like I'm gonna be able to fit one washer, probably two normal size washers, and then they come with these small washers that could go right there. Okay, cool. So that's even better actually with the normal size washer and the small one. Not only did that keep it from going side to side, but it actually gave enough tension that it's not going to move up and down unless I'm actually out here pushing it. So if I leave the D-ring down like that, I'm pretty sure as we're driving along the road, it's not going to be bouncing around back here. So one awesome quality about these Gear America brand D-rings. So moving on here to the back, we did replace our tail lights pretty soon. Most of the early mods that we did after we bought the Jeep were pretty cheap and cosmetic. These are completely black around the outside, and then they're LED tail and brake lights. So this rear bumper, this is another area where we went cheap. It is an area where I regret going cheap, and we'll be making up for that probably this year with a better bumper tire carrier combo. We got this off Amazon from a brand called EAutogrilles, and it is bad. Like, there's no other way to put it. It does the job. When we got our 37-inch tire, we needed somewhere to put it, and so that's really mainly the reason. We were desperate. We needed something fast. We didn't want to shell out a ton of money, and it's held up in the meantime, but I mean, as you can see, we've got flakes of the powder coat chipping away over here. It's getting rusty. The tire carrier mechanism is pretty loose. There's a lot of stuff that, you know, we need to do better when it comes to the tire carrier. It's working for now. I really wouldn't recommend you buy this bumper unless it's going to be temporary like we do, but we've got plans for better bumpers and better tire carriers this year. We do have a trailer hitch, even though we never really pull any trailers, and the reason that we keep a trailer hitch in there is just one extra level of protection when we're dropping off of ledges. We find that having this trailer hitch sticking out usually makes us scrape down the rock on this hitch, and it kind of protects the bottom of the bumper because it just keeps that part of the Jeep in the air. So that's why we got the hitch. And then we also replaced our gas cap with one that had a door. I will say about this thing though, you can get them from Mopar, you can get them from Amazon. We got ours from Amazon, surprise. And not all of these are created equal. This one still is a little bit like, I just fixed it. I don't know why Jeep designs this stuff without a door to cover the gas cap, but I think it looks,
That's good.
All right, they're not all created equal. Watch out for the Amazon one. It's not super sturdy in there. So that concludes our build walk around video. We hope you guys enjoyed learning about where we got some of the exterior mods for our Jeep Wrangler. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe for some more great off-road videos. And if you're coming back here, please leave a comment. Let us know what else you'd like to see in future videos. Thanks, everybody.